Hey guys, SirVern back here, and today I'm going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 and kind of my thoughts on it. So you can see by the title that I'm not super excited about the Switch 2 as it stands now. Of course, we don't have all the information yet, but I guess I'll just start with my history with Nintendo. So I played the NES when I was a little kid at my uncle's house, I think. A few games I remember, but don't have a ton of experience with it. Um, I have one now, though. So the Super Nintendo is where I really got into gaming in general. I loved the Super Nintendo. I had one at my dad's house and my mom's house. Loved it. Super Mario World is probably my second favorite platforming game of all time. I love the Super Nintendo. Bunch of shooters on it, Killer Instinct, all that good stuff. Zelda. So I don't know when the Game Boy came in, but I was a big fan of the Game Boy, Pokemon, Red, Blue, loved those. Then I got the 64, loved the 64, played the heck out of it. GoldenEye, Battle Tanks, Perfect Dark, Ocarina of Time, loved the 64. I had the GameCube, I had the Wii, neither of which I got super into because at the time, the Wii, whatever, the PS3 and the 360 in particular, I was real into. Wii, I just kind of played casually. But anyway, so I've had all those systems. Um, what really made me fall in love with the 360 was probably the achievements and the games, of course. Probably the games more than the achievements. But then I switched over to PS3. And you kind of see where this is going, probably. But, so, then a sort of Nintendo Switch comes out. There's a few reasons. I became a collector. I am a collector now. I have like about 800 physical video games and I don't know. I'd say 16 systems between handhelds. I have everything from the NES to the PS5 to a gaming PC. I have basically everything out except for modern Xboxes. I don't have a Switch though. My wife has a Switch downstairs, but we rarely play it. She got it and played Animal Crossing and whatnot, but the Switch is just kind of not my thing, and I'll kind of talk about a few reasons why. Um, I'm not interested in portable gaming that much because of longevity. Okay, I like my consoles to last forever, and the Switch really turned me off for the main reason I probably would be the battery. I don't like battery systems. I don't like batteries. For instance, I have a PSP. I had to replace the battery. It damaged the back, I think, a little bit because of the battery expanded, got old. Anything that is battery based or powered, it's a huge turnoff for me. I want to keep and maintain my systems forever, and I wonder if anybody else has this like concern or issue with them. That's why I would never have a gaming laptop. I would want a gaming desktop. I prefer a console rather than a hybrid console or a portable console. I love the PS Vita, and at the time I was traveling back and forth to see my wife. Now my wife, at the girlfriend at the time, she was my girlfriend at the time, but she bought me the PS Vita because she knew that I didn't get to play games as much because I was always at her house. But I kind of treated the Vita, I probably have 20 PS Vita games. I don't have a huge library. I mainly, it sounds crazy, but I use it as like a portal now. I streamed games. I played basically the entire Red Dead Redemption 2 video game remotely from a different city. And I have a PlayStation Portal right now. But I just don't want a portable console to be my main gaming device. It's cool for the time being, but I don't like only having 3 to 5 hours of gameplay. I don't like having to worry about charging it. I don't want the battery to fail or get old, just like with the cell phone I'm videoing this video with. The cell phone will eventually go bad. Batteries go bad. It's just I don't like battery. I don't like having batteries in any of my consoles, including the little, the cell battery. You remember the whole fiasco with the PS4, how they go bad. And anyway, the PS5, the whatever, the cell little watch battery is very easily accessible when you take the PS5 Pro apart. There's a little thing you just unscrew and you can replace it. So batteries go bad, And there was a big thing with once that battery goes dead in the PS4. I think they patched this, but then it can't shake hands with the server, so then it doesn't. Your digital games become unplayable. Blah blah blah. That's a whole other video about digital goods. But so the Switch, I like Nintendo games. I like Mario Kart. I like Smash Brothers. I really haven't played or beat a Zelda game probably since the Super Nintendo. I think I beat that one, but it's been so long. So let's go over the four main reasons I'm not super interested in the Switch 2. I've already mentioned a few of them, but I don't know if number one has got to be the battery situation. I wish, and I know this sounds crazy to some of you, but I wish that they would come out with a Switch, a normal Switch 2 that could, just like the Switch 1, where it's hybrid, you can plug it into a dock, into the TV, and a just stationary Switch 2 that is just the console, maybe a little cheaper because it get no screen, no battery, just the internals, just like, for instance, the PlayStation TV or the PS Vita TV did. I had one of those for a while. It's basically a PS Vita with no screen, no joysticks to go bad. It's just the internals of it. So I would be way more interested in that, actually. Just a Switch. Say the Switch 2 comes out and it's $499. Most likely it's going to be around that price. So say it's $499. I would rather one come out even $50 cheaper, or $400 or $450 for a Switch, just a Switch console that is just without the screen, just a stationary console that stays hooked up to your TV, and you can insert a cartridge. I I would be way more into that. That is the number one reason probably that I'm not interested in the Switch 2. It's like the Steam Deck. If I had the Steam Deck, I would still own a gaming PC. That would just be secondary. I don't want to depend on that. I know that sounds crazy to most of you, but I keep my systems for 20 years. I have, my original PS3. I have a backup PS3. I like my consoles to last forever. I like to maintain things. When I heard about disc rot, it kept me up at night. I hate that kind of stuff. So I like to collect, hold on to, maintain my collection. So I don't like battery-based systems. That's the number one reason that I'm not super interested in the Switch 2. The second and probably the most ridiculous reason, even to me, is that as of right now, there's no trophy, no achievement, no achievement support for the Switch. Okay. So my wife bought the Switch. She's starting to get into gaming more because of me over the years. And the Switch doesn't have any kind of trophies or, even Steam has it. So 360 started it off with achievements. I thought it was awesome. I love having extra objectives within games. It adds to it. I made a whole video on our trophies / achievements, good or bad for gaming. There's definitely negatives to it, okay? But I'm not going to get into too much of that right now. Overall, I'm going to choose them. If I had to choose, I want trophies. And right now, I'm trophies way over achievements. I think the system is much better. They just improved on it. So, but achievements are fine. I just think that one of those needs to be included in your ecosystem. And right now, Switch doesn't have it. It's more pure that way, right? I think if you don't care about it, I think you're better off. But once you've had it, it's kind of you're spoiled to it, and you get used to having them. I like playing games. I like beating the game, then trying to beat it again. It gives more longevity to a game, more replayability to a game. Overall, I think they're good. And unless they announce it, that's one thing. I'm just not interested in playing. So, Xbox has gone third party. I'm going to make a video game on that, or I'm going to make a video on that. But Xbox will start releasing games on the Switch 2. If you have the Switch 2 and the PS5 Pro right here, I'm going to choose the PS5 Pro every time, or the Steam every time, because there's more objectives to go for. There's trophies, there's achievements. So, I've run into this problem in the past. Before I had my Portal, at one point we were going, and I'm super OCD, long story, but we were going to take the Switch to this trip we were going on. And I wanted to play some kind of RPG, something some serious games. So I looked at the Outer Worlds, I think it's called, from the makers of Fallout. But anyway, I bought that game on the Switch, started playing it. The graphics are terrible, whatever, it's slow, 30 frames a second. But I didn't care about that as much. I really, the whole time I'm playing the game, I thought, I can get me trophies. I'm wasting my time. And I'm just messed up in the head now that I have trophies so any game that is offered on the PlayStation, I don't care if it's a worse version or the Vita where I can get trophies, I'm going to choose that. I would rather play a Vita than a Switch 2 because at least Vita has trophies, okay? I know that sounds crazy. Let me know if anybody agrees with these crazy points of mine. So trophies, that's another reason I'm just not interested. Lack of trophies or achievements. I'm not interested in the Switch 2 at all. Like, just not interested. So that's probably number 2 out of this list I made. Number 3 is going to be games, okay? So Nintendo is great. They have a lot of games, over the years that have made an impact on me and a lot of people. You've got Super Mario, you've got Smash Brothers. I say a lot, but not a. They have really big games. Everybody's heard of Mario. Cultural games, icons, Smash Brothers, Battle Tanks, those games. But see, nowadays they just keep rinsing and repeat. They're not the only, like, Sony's kind of running into the same issue. Like, how many Uncharted's can you make? So they're just kind of like Horizon, that universe. The first one was good, second one was and then now they're making Horizon Lego. They made Call of the Mountain. Now they were making like a live service game. I don't know if they're doing that still, but they just depend on Mario Kart, you know, Mario Party. You get the point. Like, there's these 5 or 6 franchises or games that they just keep re-releasing. Like, they showed, or I think they showed new Mario Kart footage. That doesn't excite me at all. I need new franchises, or bring back old games that used to be on your platform, like Battle Tanks, for example. To me, Nintendo is just they've just been doing the same crap for years and years and years. Like, they do have a lot of third party support, but man, I'm just not interested in Mario whatever. Me and my wife bought Mario Wonder, whatever, and we played it for a little bit, but then we played Astrobot, and it's, to me, way, way better. Even my wife thinks so. Astrobot, to me, is the best platformer of all time now. My wife agrees. She played it. We platinumed it. I loved it. And when I really think about it, I wonder if I would have appreciated or enjoyed Mario Wonder more if it had some kind of achievements. I think I would. I think I would have. But we didn't even finish that game. Because I'm over Mario. Mario Kart's fun, but my goodness, it just gets old. They need new franchises. I don't even know. Like, I understand Sony has a bunch of PlayStation Studios games. You've got God of War, Horizon, The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Days Gone, all these Sony Studios games. Nintendo has Mario, and like, he's in Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario whatever, Mario Party, Zelda, and then they have, there's not a ton of, unless I'm wrong. I've been out of that world for a minute, but it's just getting old. They need new games. Like, what's that one that you shoot with the arm? Samus, whatever. I can't remember the name. But anyway, they just need to either bring back new games or just new ideas. I have the same complaint with Sony right now. We just need new stuff. It's just getting old, and I'm not excited about any upcoming Mario game or any new Mario Kart. I'm not excited about any Nintendo games. None of them excite me. So that's why I'm not excited. Surely other people feel this way. How many more 3D Marios can you get excited about? It's the same thing over and over. For instance, with PlayStation, I'm not super excited about a new Uncharted. I love Uncharted 1, 2, 3's good, 4 is good, and then I played the Lost Legacy. I've beat all of them, you know, but I'm not super thrilled for another one. I've played those. Come out with something new. You know what I mean? Anyway, um, so lack of games that interest me. Okay. The fourth reason is that's not super important, but it is there, is the lack of power. Okay, even Nintendo-based Switch channels have kind of lost interest. The ones that I follow, anyway, and they've switched over to PS5 because if you're a console gamer right now, Switch is not getting a ton of games and hasn't in the last year because of lack of third party support. It's so underpowered, you know, and I'm not worried about that. There's no games coming to it, so lack of games once again because of the lack of power. When it came out, it ran. Gosh, what was that game that Rockstar released? Anyway, the cop game. It seriously, Digital Foundry did an episode, and it ran better on 360, or sorry, PS3 than it did on the Switch. It's that, anyway, cop simulator kind of game. But at the time when it came out, it was super underpowered because it's portable. They make that decision, which I'm not a fan of. So if you're a console gamer right now, you're losing interest in the Switch because of the PS5 and what it's bringing. Just because Xbox is just pitiful, and you know PlayStation gets all the games, including Xbox games now. So if you are a console gamer, you're crazy to me not to own a PS5. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm a console gamer, so I get the best. I got the best system, the PS5 Pro. Not interested sorry, I'm not interested in Xbox or Switch 2 for that matter. So the Switch 2 gets announced. Now we don't know everything about it. I've said that before, but the Switch 2 is about as powerful as a Series S, which was a huge mistake. The Series S is holding back games from coming to the Xbox platform now. That was a terrible decision. I've been saying that since day one. That's another reason to choose PlayStation, is because they have to release a game that plays on both the S and the Series X. So it's being held back by the amount of RAM, by the processing power. It's just a terrible idea. It's just a bad idea. So it's going to be, say, as powerful as the Series S, or maybe slightly less powerful, but with more RAM, from what I'm seeing. Maybe around what a PS4 can do. No, there's nothing wrong with the PS4. The PS4 can do some amazing things. In fact, they're still making games for it, which is a terrible decision by Sony. You know, I do love, like, PlayStation. I think PlayStation is the best place to play games right now. But I don't think they're perfect. They needed to drop that system 2 years ago, but they're still releasing games. So anyway, yeah. So say it's as powerful as let's just be best case scenario, the Series S. Okay. So right now, for instance, that Wukong, whatever it is, game didn't come out on Xbox, and the developer was quoted as saying because of the Series S, because they don't want to have to fool with it. Well, see, that's what's going to happen. Okay, the Series S is already holding back Xbox, along with many other bad decisions they've done. But the Switch 2 will be held back by its power. It's already coming out 4 years after the PS5 and will be less powerful than the PS5. So it's going to hold things back. You know, third-party developers are going to run into issues trying to port things to it. Yes, they will come out with some interesting things. You know, Skyrim's on the Switch. You got The Witcher 3 on the Switch. There's some cool stuff. Even that one, The Outer Wilds, my games don't have to look great. I play, just pixel graphic games. I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is lack of games coming to the console. So mark my words, it will happen. They will not get certain games because of the lack of power. And surely that bothers other people. You'll get your first party games. They'll be well made. That's one thing Nintendo does, is make quality games. You're going to be stuck with games just like you've seen for the past 5-6 years. It's going to be Mario Kart, whatever, 10 or whatever it is, not 9, who knows. Mario Wonder 2, whatever, remakes of older games. You know, you might get some Xbox games, right? But they're not going to run good or as good as the PS5, which is a weird thing to say. Xbox games running on the PS5. You're going to get a worse version of every game. And in 5 years, when the PS5 is reaching the end of its life cycle, um, the Switch 2 will be in the middle of its life cycle, and then the same thing is going to happen as what's happened to the Switch right now. It will not be getting third-party support. It'll be depending on, only Nintendo games or very few third-party games and indie games, which is cool. Indie games are fine, but you're not going to get anything new. So you're going to get watered down versions of so it's coming out too underpowered. So those are the four things that really bother me: power, lack of games or new games, the battery, and then lack of achievements or trophies. If they would announce even one of those things, like interesting games, a version without the battery, introducing achievements, something like that, I could look past the power thing, for a while. But right now, I'm just not interested. If they announced achievements or trophies, it would be so cool to be in on it. Like the PS3, I've been here since the beginning of trophies. 360, I was there at the beginning. It'd be cool to start fresh, but I don't think that's going to happen. They just don't. And then another thing, I didn't write this down, but lack of online support. I mean, right now, you seriously have to use a cell phone to talk to people through an app to talk online. It's just a garbage system. Switch Online is terrible. You get what you pay for. It's like $20 a year, and it's whatever. It's terrible. It's awful. Nobody. I have never played like a serious game with somebody. I think I played online one time on the Switch with GoldenEye, and that was cool, But man, the Switch 2, I'm not excited about at all. It just means nothing to me. If you gave me one, I probably wouldn't play it that much. I'm gonna stick with what I know and what I'm interested in, and it's an unpopular opinion for sure. But let me know if there's anybody out there that agrees with me. And that's all I got. SirVern out.